Our two member presenters are Carol Eimers and Ruth Landaal. Carol was a long-term employee at UCSD Health Sciences, where she served as the Director of Health Services Contracting, and she says she is now just happy to be retired and cooking. Ruth Landaal has been a member of the Retirement Association since she retired in 2016 after a 25-year career in healthcare, strategic, and business planning. She met Carol while working at UCSD Medical Center Hillcrest during the 80s and 90s, and a fast friendship was formed. Following retirement, Ruth decided to follow her other passion, cooking. So she went on to go back to school to get her culinary degree. Following graduation, Ruth worked at Sur la Table in their cooking school for a while. However, COVID put an end to that. Since that time, she's had lots of time to devote to cooking and has shared the joy of cooking with family and friends. This is the second time that Carol and Ruth have teamed up to present to the Retirement Association. I hope we can talk them into a third time next year. So help me help convince them to say yes. And they are looking forward to talking today about having fun with summer salads. Take it away, Carol and Ruth.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, this is Ruth. I'm hoping we can have our, there we go, we're going to start with a few slides today, and then we'll get into our food demos. So next slide, please. So yeah, so today we want to cover three main things, and of course we're going to demonstrate some salads. So first of all, we're going to have a little fun talking about what really is a salad, because it can cover a lot of territory actually. Secondly, we're going to talk about how to incorporate salads into your menu, or how to make the salad the centerpiece of your meal. And thirdly, we're going to spend a fair amount of time talking about how to make a salad attractive. What are some of the principles that we can use to make the salads the best that they can be? So we're hoping that we'll have a lot of fun with that. And then after we cover that, then we'll be demonstrating two great salads that we hope that that'll inspire you to try either those or more on your own. So I'm going to turn it over to Carol to talk about what is a salad for a couple minutes here. Carol?
Oh, next slide, please. So we had a lot of fun putting this together, and I actually learned quite a bit from Ruth because of her culinary background. So she's going to impart some hints and techniques that hopefully you're going to find worthwhile when you create your own salads. But to start off with, really, what is the history of salad? Salad really goes back to actually ancient Greeks and Romans, and it's generally defined as mixed greens with dressings. Next slide, please. And the word salad actually comes from the Latin word salt, sal for salt. And this was chosen because in ancient times, salt was often an ingredient in the salad. Next slide, please. The Romans were enthusiastic eaters of salad, and many of their salads differed hardly at all from present day ones. They were a simple selection of raw vegetables, and they always used a dressing of some sort: oil, vinegar, and often brine. Next slide, please. But do you serve it first or do you serve it last? That's a big debate that always goes on. Hippocrates and Galen believe raw vegetables easily slip through the intestinal tract, and they wanted the salad to push all the food that you were eating so it didn't obstruct anything. So they would promote eating the salad first. Next slide, please. But others believe, mainly the French, that the vinegar in the dressing destroyed the taste of the wine. Therefore, it should be served last. And this debate has continued ever since. Next slide, please. But what is a salad? Everyone's definition is different. Next slide. Salads can be first course teasers such as tomato, mozzarella, and basil, drizzled with olive oil and balsamic vinegar, or it can be your typical side green salad. Next slide. They can be side salads that support or complement a main entree, such as potato salad, 3-bean salad, broccoli slaw, etc. Next slide. They can also be main dishes, which include a variety of grains, proteins, vegetables, salad greens, and even nuts. Next slide. Or they can be dessert salads that entice your guests at the end of a meal. Thinking out of the box, they can be fresh fruit, grilled in a kebab, or just grilled and served with ice cream or whipped cream. Next slide. You can even take fresh fruit and you can drizzle it with different liqueurs, or you can take fresh fruit and top it with whipped cream that have been infused with different things such as liqueurs or honey and cinnamon. Even a trifle can be considered a salad. Next slide. We want you, as we go through to this presentation and in the future, we want you to think of your salad like a canvas. The combinations are endless, and you really are the artist who is going to create whatever type of salad you want for whatever occasion you're going to be enjoying. Now I'm going to turn this back over to Ruth, and she's going to continue with some of the notes.
Okay, so Carol has just given us a wonderful overview of what a salad can be and how for us to use our creative juices to come up with a wonderful salad. So what are the considerations that we should take into account when we're going to do a salad? And I wanted to go over 3 key things. One is think about what is the occasion. So you've got an event coming up, and who knows what it's going to be. And you want the menu and the salads to match the situation. Is it going to be a large informal gathering? Is it going to be a backyard barbecue? Maybe a small, elegant dinner party with individuals, in which case you'd want something a little bit more individualized. So as you think about these things, that helps you decide what kind of salad and how you're going to present it. Maybe it's a certain holiday or a certain time of year, like summer, which is what we're talking about. Maybe there's a special tradition you want to emphasize. So you choose the type of salad and the ingredients and figure out how it's all going to fit into the menu. And then how do you present the salad on a plate or a tray or whatever to show off the impression that you want to give. So for example, you could make sure if it's summertime to use seasonal ingredients. Maybe it's a holiday with family, in which case you want to make sure you use grandma's green bean recipe or canned green beans in your salad, that kind of thing. As you put together the menu too, you want to think about combinations. So where is the salad going to fit with the other things that you're going to be serving? And think about the flavors that are involved, like sweet versus sour, that kind of thing, to make sure you have a good blend of different ingredients, so that you're not repeating too many spices in more than one dish or too many ingredients in more one dish, that type of thing. Secondly, we eat with our eyes first, and so the first impression that a person has of the dish is going to go a long ways to the enjoyment of it. So it's a good idea to try to think of using a variety of colors and textures to get people interested and excited about what they're looking at. Different shapes. You can either go a variety, or sometimes you might choose to have all uniform. It's just up to your artistic discretion, how you think it would look the best. Always use fresh ingredients, because they're going to look the prettiest. And also seasonal vegetables will give you the best flavor, as well as the best price. And you can always go to USDA.gov or other websites to find out what's really in season, or go to your grocery store and they can tell you.
And Ruth got this neat little chart from Gelson's that talks about what fruit and what vegetables are in season when. So when you're planning your menu, you can use this, but you could also go to the USDA website and download a similar one.
And unfortunately, we didn't include that in the handouts, but if anybody wants it, you can let me know. Then another thing to consider, considering we're using our eyes when we eat this, is to think about what serving pieces you're going to use, because the right plate or a bowl and so on could really help enhance the look of this dish that you're creating. Try to keep, when you're doing your design, you can try to keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. Even they actually say, the professionals say, the simpler actually is the better. And that's the hard part, is to keep it simple with just a single focal point on there, on your plate. It's hard to do. So you can choose to just feature one or two of the ingredients on your salad to catch the eye appeal and to tantalize the diner. Another thing then this also goes into the flavor, but the look is, you can try using a variety of cooking methods in your dish, in your salad that you're preparing, so that there's some variety there. So roast some ingredients, that type of thing. Marinate another ingredient and that type of thing to give some variety. Thirdly, you want to take into account, of course, the taste and the mouthfeel of the salad. How do you want the diners to experience this salad? And flavor and texture are very important. So as Carol and I were talking as we were preparing for this, we were agreeing, say you're going to put carrots in a salad. If you shred them versus cut them into carrot coins, they taste completely different. I don't know why, but it tastes different. And maybe it's because there's a texture difference. They're a little bit more hard and crunchy when they're in the coins, and they're a little bit softer maybe.
And sweeter when they're shredded.
Somehow sweeter.
Yeah, it's just a completely different.
So you can think as you're putting together how you want to, what kind of texture you want to experience. And also consider how the ingredients will fit when the diner's eating it with a fork. Do you want them to be able to pick up more than one ingredient on that fork so they experience the ingredients together, and avoid a lot of cutting and that kind of thing? So ideally make it so that it's fairly easy to eat. Although there are salads where you have an entire lettuce leaf and you are cutting it, but think about it when you put together your creation. Flavor combinations. Yes, you can do the sweet and salty. I wrote a couple others down here, but smoky and sweet, fatty and lean, spicy and bland. So as you think about the menu or the items within a dish, you can try to balance them however you think might be fun to try. So these things of thinking about what is the occasion and the experience you're trying to develop, how do you want it to look good, and how do you want it to taste good? These are the three main considerations when you put together your salad. So let's see. Next, I think we're gonna get into our first salad
demonstration. You know, and I just wanted to add a little bit to what Ruth was saying. You know, I tend to, Ruth is a perfectionist, and I am not. But I do know from personal experience, I have made some very good dishes, and I've made some so-so dishes in my life. But when I have taken the time to prepare and make it look pretty, which I usually don't because I'm in a hurry, my husband invariably will say, "This is fabulous," even though in reality it really isn't fabulous. So you really do eat with your eyes first. The second thing in preparing this presentation, because Ruth has a lot of experience, she started talking to me about the texture of different items and how they go on a fork and how do you want the diner to experience it. I mean, these were things I never even considered, but it was really very enlightening to me. How do people eat? And, you know, again, I watch my husband because I sit across from him. You know, he eats one way. I'll eat a salad another way. Sometimes I eat all of the individual components by themselves. Sometimes I'll try to put things together on a fork. These are all things you can experiment as you start to create the different salads in your own home. But it just gave me, no pun intended, but a lot of food for thought in listening to what Ruth was saying. Do you want crunchy on the same fork with something smoother? Do you want to eat it separately? Make sure things are cut up so that people can put all of these things on a fork. I mean, these things are all very thoughtful, which is something I never even considered. But having said that, I think the first salad that we're going to demonstrate for you is the Kensington. I'm calling it cafe. What did we call it? We call it cafe salad.
Cafe salad inspired by
the Kensington Cafe. So there is a really nice restaurant in Kensington called the Kensington Cafe. It's all outside. And I had this salad there with some friends and relatives over the past year or two. And frankly, anything you eat outdoors now during the pandemic is enjoyable just to get out of the house. But I tend to like to go to restaurants, and when I've had something that I really enjoy, I come home and I try to recreate it. So I took this salad and some of the elements that I had there at the Kensington Cafe. One of the main things that they served in the salad that I really enjoyed was quinoa, and they paired it with pepita seeds. And so I took some of the basic concepts that they had and started to incorporate it into things that I could do at home. And so it is similar to what they serve there, but it's different. And I think if you do try to make this yourself at home, it's going to evolve into a flavor profile that is going to become your very own based on your own personal preferences. So that was the impetus for us to include this salad because it has a lot of different components to it. And I'm going to turn it over to Ruth to kind of demonstrate how to put the salad together and make it look pretty for a presentation.
So I was having fun with this assignment, and I thought, okay, I'm going to pretend that we're making this salad. What's the occasion, right? I'm going to pretend that we're making this salad because I'm having 3 friends over. It's summertime at lunchtime because one of my friends is having her birthday. Okay, so she's coming over for her birthday, and so we're gonna, for the dessert, we're gonna have cake and ice cream. And so that'll be rather heavy. So I'm thinking, what can I serve that would go well with that would be flavor wise and menu wise, what would fit in well. And so I thought, okay, this Kensington Cafe salad would be a good idea. And maybe I'll serve it. We'll serve it on the patio. I'm going to serve it maybe with rolls and butter on the side, something fairly simple. And I'm going to, rather than potluck style, I'm going to put it into 4 individual, we'll have 4 individual bowls so that they can eat it with their eyes first. We'll try to decorate it, make it look pretty, and they can have some fun with choosing how they want to eat it. So the good thing about this particular recipe is using it as a main course is good because it has a lot of the elements that you need to have make it a main course, because you have, in addition to your lettuce, we're going to have our protein of choice, which Carol could talk about later, maybe a little bit, but we've decided we're going to have grilled chicken or whatever. Then what we call a starch or grain could go in there. So we're going to do some quinoa, and then vegetables to decorate it. So we're going to use mushrooms and onions. And then for additional flavor and give some richness to it, we're going to do some feta cheese. And of course, we'll put some nut topping on there. So this is really going to make people have fun eating all these different ingredients. And Carol talked a little bit about the salad dressing. Carol, I don't know what kind they had at the Kensington Cafe.
I don't remember what they had at the Kensington Cafe. I've made it with different salad dressings. I've made it with this particular salad. I've made it with a balsamic dressing. Ruth, I think, is going to demonstrate a lemon dressing, correct? Mm-hmm. I've made it with, if I'm lazy, I use Trader Joe's cilantro dressing, which is like a low-fat dressing. And I meant to bring it with me, but Costco also sells in their refrigerated section like a cilantro la crema dressing, which is lighter than the one at Trader Joe's. I think anything will go with this particular flavor profile that we're putting this salad together, as long as it's not too sweet. Although the balsamic vinegar can be somewhat sweet depending on what balsamic vinegar you use, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, so I'm going to start putting this thing together, and it calls for 5 to 6 cups of lettuce of our choice. So Carol previously said that she, in her opinion, since she had at the restaurant, a variety of lettuces would be a good idea. So I'm going to start putting this thing together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start by washing my hands, because I'm working with fresh ingredients, raw ingredients, and all the utensils and everything needs to be completely, should be clean. Once I have all my, I'm kind of going to try to do a mise en place and get all of the elements for the salad done, and then we'll assemble them at the end. So of course, to make it simple, I went to the store and I decided to pick this lettuce. Because it's got 3 different kinds in it. So the mise en place on this one's pretty easy. It's a mixture of radicchio and some spring lettuces, and I like the color of it and the variety. I think because if it's for the entire entree, a variety of lettuces is nice, because that's all you're going to be eating besides the roll and butter. So here's our lettuce ready to go. Now, if you were going to do your own lettuce, and of course you would wash it and dry it and you can put it through a salad spinner. And of course, everybody knows what a salad spinner looks like. It's good to have one, but it takes up a lot of space. I don't know if there's such a thing as a collapsible one. I was going to look that up.
There is a collapsible.
Is there? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one tip I wanted to pass along to the group, though, is if you're using your own lettuce and it's limp, how do you revive it? And
I have no idea.
the way to do that is I read how you do it is you can soak the lettuce in lukewarm water. They say warm, but I'd say lukewarm water for about 10 minutes, and then drain it, wrap it in a towel, and then put it in the refrigerator for about an hour, and that'll revive that lettuce quickly. And then you can always put it through a salad spinner after that if you need to, because you really want the lettuce to be dry so that the dressing will stick to it. So, okay, so now we've got our lettuce done. Our next ingredient on the recipe is the quinoa, and we're using tricolor quinoa. Carol prepared this, and it's tricolored, so it's going to be very pretty on there. She cooked it according to package instructions. Sometimes instead of water, she'll use broth just to give it a little more flavor. And it's important when you're making quinoa to rinse it well before you cook it. Otherwise, it can have a bitter flavor. But I think it's really known to have a lot of good protein in there.
Yeah, quinoa. If you wanted to make this all vegetarian, you could just use the quinoa. And the reason that I like the tricolor for this particular salad combination is the tricolor has a crunch to it. Regular quinoa is milder, and as I'll tell you a little bit later, it pairs better with perhaps some other things, but this particular quinoa is crunchier.
Okay, our next ingredient is listed is mushrooms. And you can prepare the mushrooms how you wish. The recipe talks about either roasting them in the oven on a sheet pan for about 15 minutes at 350, drizzle with a little olive oil and salt, and let them get brown, but not too brown. That's one way to go. I decided to marinate them. We're giving you the recipe for that too. So you just take the mushrooms and wash and dry them, and then marinate them overnight in a vinaigrette. I have the recipe here. It's in some wine vinegar, olive oil, some crushed garlic, salt, a bay leaf, some fresh thyme, and some red pepper flakes, and the zest of a lemon. I wanted to just demonstrate a couple little tips here on the garlic. That I don't know if you guys have seen one of these. This is a great thing you can buy to crush garlic. It's really easier to clean than a regular garlic press. So
where do you get those?
I can't remember where I got this, but nowadays you can get things online so easily. Yeah. So even though the recipe called for crushed garlic, I just squished it with that thing, and that was it. There is on your recipe, it says 1/2 chopped fresh thyme. I meant 1/2 teaspoon. I'm sorry about that. There's a little omission there. And you throw some red pepper flakes into your marinade. And by that, I mean the kind that you put on a pizza, you know, the red pepper flakes. And then it talks about the peel of the zest peel of half of a lemon. And so by that, I mean, if you have a half a lemon, you can take a peeler or a zester, and you want to just, you want to just get off the colored part like this, and you get these little strips. Okay, so you just put these little things in the jar, and that imparts the lemony flavor into your marinade. And that's in there. So these are done and ready to go. So we'll do our salad. Okay, then my next ingredient is going to be, the onions. Okay, so there's a couple different ways to cook the onions. You can, we like to have them caramelized or oven roasted. You can do it in a frying pan, or you can do it in the oven. What I did was I actually put these in a cast iron skillet in the oven with drizzled with olive oil and a little salt. And I did it a slow cook. You can try to do it faster at a higher temperature, just watch out they don't burn, or you can do it kind of slow. I think I did it at 325 for 45 minutes or something. Now these are onions we're going to use to decorate the top. And I wanted to demonstrate a little bit how, when the recipe said cut them into crescents, how we meant to do that. So you take an onion, and to cut it in crescents, and it's hard to remember. I mean, how am I going to remember how to do this? I don't know. I always have to look it up every time. But but on the onion, you have the north and the south poles. Okay, so I cut it through the north and south pole. And then you want to cut it. You wanted to cut it again one more time through the north and south pole. Okay, then take off the skin. So I'm going to cut it a little bit to get that skin off. Oh, okay. Okay, now I'm ready to cut it into my little crescent shape. Okay, so
and we're keeping the end on,
yes,
so that it stays.
But the next step actually, so I've done it in quarters, but I still have on the south pole here. I cut. There's this little root piece, so you cut that off. Okay, now I'm going to just cut it north through south pole. I'm going to just cut it little slices going all the way across. And then this should be so these are your little crescents that you can that you will drizzle with olive oil and salt. So you can see how it's turning out like this. Yeah, so you could cut it in any shape you want for your salad, you know, but I thought that rings might be a little bit ungainly. So you pick up a big ring and how do you stick that in your mouth? These little crescents are a little easier to fit on a fork, I think. So that's the onions. So we have our onions ready to go. The next ingredient is going to be 2 to 4 ounces of cheese, such as feta or gorgonzola. So we got a little chunk of feta cheese here, and I'm just gonna use my fingers to crumble it. So I have a little prep bowl. I have this great little set of 12 prep bowls, and I can get all my ingredients ready to go. So I'm just gonna crumble it a little bit. And how much do I want to do? Since we're demonstrating one salad, maybe Carol, what, this much? You think about that?
It depends on how much you like feta cheese. I probably put a little more.
A little more? Okay, but put a little more in there. Yeah, let's do it.
But this was actually, to me, probably enough for one person.
Oh, okay. This is enough for one person.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, we're going to do this
yeah.
for one person. Okay,
yeah,
that'll be good.
But again, it depends on how much you like cheese.
Which I like it a lot.
Okay.
Okay, so it's, you know, we've got it crumbled here. Okay, so we've got our feta done. And now the next ingredient is the nuts.
Oh, okay. So the nuts, there's different nuts that you can use. I always go for stuff that's easy, and I had it when I had it at Kensington Cafe. They had pepita in there, which I really like, which is like a type of a pumpkin seed. And so Costco sells its organic salad toppers. It's not very expensive, and it has a combination of sunflower, cranberries, toasted roasted pumpkin seeds, and tamari sauce. So you could certainly do that, buy the ingredients together separately, but this is very easy. And as we talk a little bit later about other combinations, we'll talk about other nuts. But one of the things Ruth was going to mention, I think, is very important, if you can, to toast the nuts, because it brings out more of a flavor.
Yeah, so okay, so now that we have all of our ingredients together, we're gonna put some avocado in there.
And Ruth's going to show you how to cut up an avocado.
Okay, yeah, okay, now, I like to use one of these little gloves because I don't want to cut myself. Okay, so you cut the avocado in half.
So actually, you know what? I've never seen that glove. What is that?
It's just a glove so you don't cut yourself. You know, if you're working closely with
So
knives.
does that glove, is it kind of
it's some kind of a
mesh that it
mesh,
won't cut through? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So luckily I'll take the half of the avocado that doesn't have the pin in it. You know, we need half of one, and I'm going to score it. I'm actually going to use a duller knife. I'm chickening out. Okay, so I'm going to score it this way. And then I'm going to go this way to make it little cubes. And Carol's going to hand me a spoon, and I'm going to scoop it out, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay, I've got my avocado ready to go. And what's my last ingredient? Is that it?
And then the salad dressing.
The salad dressing.
Yes.
Okay, so I decided for this salad, with my friends coming over, I'm going, and you can throw this in the washing machine, but I don't think I put it in the dryer. Oh, I forgot to slice the chicken with the last.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the dressing. I went ahead and mixed all the ingredients, all the everything but the oil together already. So this is lemon juice and the salt and the pepper and the fresh thyme, and a little garlic is in there, which I did through the, I actually used the garlic press for the garlic in here so that it would be smaller, you know, or combined. Now you could emulsify this if you wanted to, but I'm going to just go ahead and put it here and shake it, because we're going to pre-dress the salads. If we were passing the dressing around, then it's more important maybe that it stay emulsified, because you don't want to keep trying to, you know, combine it while you're passing it around the table. Okay, just put that in there. And you guys all have the recipe for this lemon dressing. It's included in the packet. You just shake it. Okay, let's get this salad assembled. Okay, first what I'm gonna do is, I decided I'm gonna serve the salad in this bowl right here. I didn't maybe have the ideal. This might be a little big for a single salad, but I don't want to go too small if it's the entree. So first I toss my lettuce. So I'm going to take a little of the dressing and put it around the sides of the bowl. This will make it easier to toss. Okay, I'm going to throw in my lettuce. And probably about maybe two or three ounces at the most for a single portion like that. Okay, and do you think more for one person?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Go put more in.
I guess it depends. It's the difference between what Ruth eats and what I eat, but
Okay.
but it's a large bowl. That's why
It's a large bowl. Okay,
and
so
then
now I'm going to add some
probably
quinoa.
half of the quinoa.
Okay, we're going to add. So Carol's one that's really experienced in salad, so she knows. You know, she really kind of knows how I need to do this. Okay, about half of quinoa. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably enough.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I decided I'm going to toss the quinoa. I made the decision that I'm going to put all the rest as decorations on top. Now I could do it any way I want. Okay, so Carol, would you put a little more dressing, drizzle while I
Yes.
toss? We want it to have enough dressing, but not too much, so you don't want it to go limp, just a little more. You think that's about good?
Yeah, and one thing.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, please.
Unfortunately, I made the quinoa, so it's clumping together because it sat overnight. So I'm just breaking it up a little bit. Okay.
Okay, now, since everything else is gonna be a decoration, I'm ready to put this into the serving bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. Tell me what you think that's.
No, I would
Keep
fill it.
going,
Yeah, I would
okay.
keep going.
Okay. There. All right. So what I decided I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and maybe do it kind of shelf salad style. So I'm going to do a little, I think, I don't know,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. If we don't like it, you know, it's not like.
Yeah, I
anybody-
mean, the beauty of this is you can put as much or as little as you want
Yeah,
based
a
on
little-
your preference.
I'm going to put, let me get out, I had a scoop of mushrooms. Mushrooms, I'm going to put a few of these mushrooms, making sure I don't get the bay leaf in there. So put a few mushrooms over here. Okay, that'll be a nice little thing over here. Okay, then the next one is maybe the feta. Where's my feta? Oh, here's my onions, and I need my, where's my feta?
Where's the feta? Oh, I took the
Okay,
feta.
I don't
Okay.
have the feta. Okay, can we put a little pile of the caramelized onions on there? Okay, I'm gonna sprinkle a little of the, no, we'll do some feta in a little pile. Okay, yeah.
And then the
Oh,
last
we
thing.
need the nuts.
Oh, the nuts, yeah.
Topping. Okay. This is the fun part, is these nuts are really great. Wow, I'm hungry
Okay.
already now. Okay,
You
Carol,
know
you wanna
what?
do it like?
Yeah, I'll put a little.
However
nut.
you wanna do it.
Well, you know what? I
You
may
like it all-
sprinkle the nuts
all over?
over the top, just a little bit, and I can put a little bit on the side.
Okay, now we're gonna garnish it with the chicken. And usually 4 to 6 ounces is enough for a single portion. I don't know how much this weighs, but we'll just assume the person is hungry and we're gonna go for the whole thing, do you think? So we can try to kind of keep the slices together and try to cut it a little bit on the bias. I'm just gonna go ahead and make these slices about like this. And I don't know, do you think this will all fit, Karen?
No, I think probably half. is
About like that
fine. Yeah,
much?
mhm.
Okay, so we're gonna just do half. Okay, so I'm gonna carefully just go like this on top. Okay. And fan it out a little bit. And there we have it.
There's your salad.
There's the
It looks
Kensington
very
Cafe.
elegant, and people will be thrilled.
All right, so Carol, salad number 2.
Okay, I just wanted to mention a couple of brief notes about the salad, which I included on the handout. The tricolor that I get from Trader Joe's. It's also, I noticed that Costco has it for £5 at a ridiculously reduced price. It's like a third of the price of getting it at Trader Joe's, so you could get it at Costco. Also, Trader Joe's sells a harvest grain blend, which is a blend of pearlized couscous, orzo, baby garbanzo beans, and red quinoa. It has a really nice crunch to it, much milder flavor. So the different kinds of proteins that you can put in this, you can put in chicken, any sort of spices that you want on the chicken. You can put shrimp, grilled shrimp. You can do marinated meat. And if you don't want to have a real savory profile with the tricolor quinoa, you can use couscous, the Israeli couscous, and you can use berries in the salad. You could use candied walnuts. I gave you a recipe for candied walnuts, which are very, very easy. You can really make this salad whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to, it can be savory, it can be sweet. You could have different nuts in it. it's just a great salad. So moving right along, the second salad we're going to demonstrate for you is a mango avocado shrimp salad. And again, to kind of set the stage with what Ruth was saying, we're going to have this as an outdoor informal dinner party. And this particular mango avocado ceviche, which is also a kind of a salad, you can make it into a main dish. You can make it into appetizers. You can make it into tapas, whatever you want to do. I prepared the mango avocado ceviche ahead of time, and I bought these Guerrera tortillas instead of frying my own tortilla. So this is a very hard tortilla. But if you want to make it into a soft taco, you would just lightly fry a corn tortilla and put the ceviche with some coleslaw into a soft taco. But this Guerrera taco is very nice. It's kind of a smaller size than the other Guerreros. You can get them at any supermarket. And this particular one has a tagine flavor to it. So people can make their own. You can pre-prepare them for them. And then you can complement it with side dishes such as roasted corn and black beans and coleslaw that has a particular, like a honey lemon sweet dressing poured all over it. So it really depends on how you want to set the stage. Do you want it informal where people will go and they'll make their own, put it in a pretty dish and have these arrayed on the side on a platter and they fill their own? Or do you want to pre-prepare them where people pick them up and then self-serve their own corn and black beans along with it? So the only prep that we're going to show you particularly here is the how to slice a mango.
So I brought the
Where's the
mango.
knife? Yeah.
Oh, do you want to use it?
Oh,
Okay, I couldn't
I
remember
think I'm
which
going to
knife.
use this
Okay.
knife. Okay, so I just washed my hands recently, so they're pretty clean. So to cut a mango, which you probably know how to do, but for those of you who don't, you slice one end off so that it has a firm footing on your cutting board. And then you gently carve the skin off the mango so that you try to retain as much of the flesh as you can. I'm using Ruth's knife, which looks like it's a Japanese knife, which I've never used. I probably should use this glove because this knife is incredibly sharp. Maybe we can have like somebody from Sur La Table or whatever give us a demonstration on how to sharpen knives.
Oh, yeah.
Or Williams Sonoma.
Yeah.
This knife is incredibly sharp. Wow, I'll have to talk to you afterwards.
The Japanese, yeah, they cut the knives at the angle is a steeper angle on the tip than a European knife.
Yeah,
So
I
that's why
typically
it's-
use a Wusthof, which I like a lot from an ergonomic standpoint, but this knife is the sharpest knife I've ever had. So now all of the flesh is off for the most part. I'm trying to hurry so as not to bore you all. And with a firm surface, you just cut down, rotate, cut around down to the pit so that you're getting the maximum amount of mango off of the mango. And then you just cut it up into slices, or in this case, cubes. So that's how you cut a mango up. So what I'm going to do is while I'm preparing these tostadas on a nice plate, Ruth is going to show you how to create a pretty radish flourish so that it can accompany and make your presentation much, much prettier. So we'll be back. I'll be back in a second.
So if you want to do a little garnish to go next to your tostada when you're presenting it to your guests, there's a couple different ways you can cut the radishes, and I'll show you 3 ways that I did. Okay, one is you just take the radish and you cut it in slices across, and you put it in soak it in water overnight, and it looks like that. Okay, another one is you do the same thing. I think this one's actually prettier. You cut it across, but then you turn it 90 degrees, and you do it again. And then when you when you soak it, it really comes out very nicely. The third way is you take the radish and you cut it at 5 corners, like the 5 points of the star, I guess. 1, you turn it 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have a radish here, and I'll just demonstrate. Let's see if I can find that knife again. Let's see, I need a cutting board. Grab a cutting board here. Listen through while you're doing that. Grab that up. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to try to do maybe the one I thought. So what you do is on all of these is you cut the tip and the tail off. So you go ahead and cut that off. Oops. That's why we sweep the floor. And then on the tail. Okay, I'm going to try that one that's the hardest, where you cut it at 5 angles. So on all these, you cut it 3/4 of the way down. Of course, not all the way through. Okay, I'm going to make a cut. I'm going to make a cut about here, going down 3/4 of the way. Then I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this 5 times as I turn it, so that it ends up 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I cut it 5 times. So when I soak this, it should open up and look like a rose. So that's a nice, fun thing to do if you want to decorate your dishes and make them just a little bit more fancy looking.
And I'll be there in 1 second. I'm just putting.
Carol's putting the final flourishes on our second salad for you. So, okay, so since we're just about at the end here, I'm gonna put this salad here, and we'll have your salad there, and then we'll have a little visual of both of the salads that we created. But really, we're hoping that what we've done is inspire you today to think about how you can use your artistic creativity to create something special in the salad realm. Oh my gosh, Carol, that's gorgeous.
Yeah,
Look
so
at that.
I don't know if this shows up, but with these radishes and with just like a little bit of cilantro. So there's two little tostadas there. There's the radishes with garnish of the little peppers and the olives. I mean, you can take a very simple, ordinary dish, although the shrimp mango avocado isn't ordinary, but you can take something very simple and you can elevate it by just adding some color. Look at the pop. I mean, I'm going to do this. I never do this.
Yeah.
Look at the pop that the red has, and then the black of the avocado with the green and the pink of the shrimp. I mean, it just makes it a beautiful, enticing dish. And then Ruth had some lovely platters that I think you bought. Wear it.
Yeah. This platter,
very
is just
inexpensive.
plastic. It's a throwaway platter.
Yes,
It's Gelson's.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then they can put some corn and some beans there, etc. So we hope we've inspired you to take your salad and make it your own palette. I included another salad which I heartily recommend you trying, that olive walnut pomegranate salad is fabulous, and it pairs very well with Mediterranean and Italian dishes, and it's very easy to make. So that's our salads. I hope you enjoyed it, and I don't know if you had any questions.
Well, we'll open it up to questions, but ladies, wow, this was fabulous. I loved the PowerPoint. I loved the presentation. I've never done the radish roses, but I'm dying to do them. It looks delicious. It looks pretty. Really makes you want to entertain. So great stuff. Great job. Members, do you have any questions? Not all at once. I think we're all overwhelmed with how professional.
You know, it's salads. There's probably not a lot of questions related to salads, but we hope we inspired you.
Yeah, very much so. Very, very much so. So thank you so much for the work that you put into preparing this. It's really beautifully done. I hope you guys are going to sit down and enjoy this now.
Yeah, I think you bet we will.
All right. Thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye, everybody.